Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine, and I've brought you along to cook dinner tonight. If you watched my planning menu last week, you would have seen that this was on the menu. This recipe is Portuguese chicken. It's out of this Reader's Digest One Dish Meals the Easy Way. This was actually published in 1994. So I've gone ahead and got all my ingredients together that I need. We need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We need 150 millilitres of Madeira or port and 150 millilitres of red wine. I've just gone and put those in my jug already. There's the Madeira, there's the red wine. We need a 400-gram tin of chopped tomatoes, 450 grams of new potatoes scrubbed and quartered. I've got 500 because that's what the bag size was. The original recipe says you need 1.5 kilo chicken cut into 8 pieces. I've gone ahead, I've got 4 large chicken breasts here and 4 chicken thighs with the bone in. I've taken the skin off. I might not cook all of this chicken breast because it is quite a lot of meat. This recipe is to serve 4. It is just for 2 of us, so there will be 2 portions or more to freeze. So that's the chicken. You need 115 grams of cooked ham cubed. I couldn't get ready cooked cubed ham, so I cooked my own. This was just over a kilo joint of Essentials gammon from Aldi, and I've cooked it for 1 hour and 3/4 in the oven. No bother at all, just leave it to its own devices. And I've got this huge piece left that will come in for maybe a chicken and ham pie, maybe a pea and ham pasta, ham sandwiches, ham salads, all kinds of things. Then you need 60 grams of, it says in the original recipe, stuffed olives, but I've just used these Greek olives that were in my cupboard. They were in oil, so I've rinsed them and I've cut them in half just to make them go a little bit further. And you need the juice of a medium lemon, and that is it. Oh, if you want to do the original, it does say that you need 450 grams of curly kale or spring greens, which would make this a 1-pot meal, but I don't really like that, neither does Mr. Paper&Twine, so we've got a head of broccoli that I shall boil closer to the recipe's finish. So what we need to do is just heat our oil. It suggests that you do this in a shallow pan with a lid. Just let the oil come up to heat up. And I'm going to make a decision on how much chicken I'm going to cook. I need to brown the chicken for about 10 minutes. I have to say all the prep has been very easy for this. Yeah, it's just a case of, now I've gathered everything, popping it all in the pan. Okay. Now I might have crowded my pan a little bit too much and it might kind of steam more than brown, but we'll see how we go. So these have had about 4 minutes on one side. I'm going to turn them. See, I've got a nice little bit of fond there, where there's a little bit of fat on the chicken thigh. You're not going to get a huge amount of browning because the breasts are boneless and skinless. That one is stuck. So you can see that I've got a little bit of problem where it had stuck there. My pan isn't 100% non-stick, so I'm going to give this about 4 minutes on this side, then remove these to a plate and get rid of the excess fat. So I've got rid of my excess oil. I'm just going to pour in my port and Madeira, sorry, my wine and my Madeira, and my chopped tomatoes, and I'm going to scrape the bottom to get all the goodness off the bottom. Turn my heat up a bit because I've turned it down. I'm going to get my flat wooden spoon. Make sure I get all of those lovely bits up from the bottom, because they add flavour. Let me just check what I need to do next. Look who's in a box again. Oh. So I need to bring this up to the boil, and it's just starting now. I'm scraping all those bits off the bottom, just give a bit more heat. And the beauty of this, of course, is that you've only got one pot to wash up, which is brilliant. I'm all for that. I'll come back to you with the next stage in a minute. So this has been boiling for a couple of minutes. Now I need to add my potatoes. They're all going in. And my cubed ham. And my orange juice. Tip with the orange, before I cut it in half, I rolled it and then I gave it 15 seconds in the microwave, which somehow seems to extract a little bit more juice. And back in goes my chicken in a minute. I'm just going to give this a stir. I did take one of the breasts out. I cooked 3 breasts. I mean, they're really huge breasts. I would say there's enough for at least 6 people here, really. And I'm going to pop my lid on and pop that on a simmer for 30 minutes. So this has had about 30 minutes or so on a simmer covered. You can see the chicken is starting to take on the colour of the tomatoes. It is a very watery sauce, and there isn't any seasoning apart from the Madeira, the red wine, the orange juice and the tomatoes. I've added a tiny bit of salt, but I think we will season at the table. What's going to go in now that will add a little bit more saltiness is my olives. For the last 10 minutes I'm going to cover it. If you were putting the kale in, this is the point where you would put the kale, and I've just put my broccoli on to cook. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to plate up. So here is what the dish is supposed to look like. I haven't bothered with the orange garnish because I don't want to waste another orange. And here is what mine looks like. I'll show you what it looks like plated up. So I've plated up, and I'm going to come back and tell you what it was like. I've just gone for one chicken thigh, and yeah. So Mr. Paper and Twine have finished our dinner, and as you can see, the plates are empty. Excuse me. Some criticisms. There is no seasoning in the recipe, and if I was to do this again, there are some changes that I would make. I would use 1 tablespoon of oil instead of 2. I would use a little bit less chicken. I'd maybe cut the chicken breasts in half, and I would definitely season, and I would also add a little bit of corn flour with some water to make a slurry to thicken the sauce a little bit. However, that being said, it was very tasty. Mr. Paper and Twine particularly liked the chicken, the potatoes and the olives together. I might add a few more olives next time, and allegedly this is 478 calories a portion. So yeah, I shall freeze the rest of this for another day. Thank you for watching. Bye now.